Hymer is rather better known in the UK for its motorhomes than for its caravans. Well, why is that? Well, for a number of reasons. Firstly, there aren't that many dealers that sell them. We're at Loudham's today and they're one of a very small number of suppliers. Secondly, they're very heavy. And thirdly, they're very expensive. So how do you mitigate the latter two? Well, why not go for the smallest model in the range? This is the 2017 Hymer Nova GL 470. It's got a front lounge and a rear washroom across the whole of the back of the van. It's not a particularly beautiful caravan, if we're being brutally honest, but it is beautifully made. There's a real quality to the detailing and a real solidity to the construction. It's also loaded with kit. There's every Alco goodie you could want. Not one, but two external lockers here. There's an external socket with aerial point for your TV, should you want one in the awning. And there's a gas barbecue point as well. I'm not wildly keen on the fact that the hookup point is mounted really high up and in the awning side. And of course, the door is on the wrong side for the UK, which will put off a number of British buyers. I do like the fact that we've got this full width handle across the back of the van that should make it easier to heft into place on a pitch. But then most people who buy this caravan will fit it with a motor mover, mainly because it's heavy, but also because they can probably afford it. I really like these tail lights as well. They give a really automotive touch to the styling of the caravan. But what's most interesting is what it's like inside. You can tell the depth of thought that's gone into designing this van from the minute you step aboard. Just take this entrance hall area. We've got some neat little cubby holes, just the place to put keys or mobile phones or perhaps dog leads, and then a sturdy rail here where you can hang up your wet outdoor coats. And what about if you've got wet gloves? Well, how about this for a neat detail? This drawer is gently warmed by the boiler beneath, so your gloves will be dry and cosy when you next need to put them on. I love that. Over here on the offside, there's a really good sized sideboard, just the right height to be used for food preparation, and it isn't cluttered by the TV, which is mounted on this swing out arm as part of the media pack. And of course, because it's plumbed in, it won't use up any of the many sockets. We've got a couple here and a USB point. Underneath there's a decent sized refrigerator, and then over here on the near side of the van we've got a top spec separate oven and grill with above it a dual fuel 4-burner hob, one of those burners being a hot plate. And in the corner here, this tall cupboard, as well as being a nice height to put cereal boxes and things once you're pitched up on site, it also contains the freestanding table for the lounge. There's a good sized stainless steel sink and yet more sockets above it, a large window, and three very domestic style drawers, which are really big, a good cutlery liner there, and they've also got soft close action. And then up high here, well, we've got a microwave, yet more evidence that this van has been catered towards the British market. This lounge area is both huge and phenomenally comfortable, aided by these rather fab wraparound cushions at the front, which are great for relaxing on. Now, we saw earlier that there is a freestanding table in the kitchen cupboard, but you're rarely going to need it when there's just two of you on board, because check this out, the front chest slides out and folds over to create an enormous flat table, ideal for a board game or indeed a good dinner for two. And the mechanism, just like everything else in this van, is really super smooth. The lounge has a decent amount of light available, admittedly not shown off today because it's particularly dull outside, but we've got a large front sunroof which opens unusually, and a large overhead roof light. I really like the finish in here too. The woodwork, although a little bit orange for my tastes, isn't trying too hard. It's a very subtle finish, and every locker has a positive catch on it. And inside you'll find the Realm system, which is Hymer's way of hiding all of the wiring and pipework, so you get nice clear locker spaces. I'm particularly partial to this finish on the upholstery too. It's very subtle as well as being very comfortable. Now, you can use both of these sofas as single beds. They're well over 6 foot each, but if you want to make up a simply enormous double bed, you simply pull out the slats from beneath the front chest, rearrange the cushions, and voila, a massive double bed. I do have a couple of quibbles though. If you are using that bed as a double, only one of you will get a reading light. There's only one on either side at the front. And it's a shame there's no access from the inside to the bed boxes beneath the sofas unless you lift those sofa bases. It's also slightly odd that we've got these fantastic overhead lockers all the way around, but these front ones here are fixed, so you can't use that space behind. But I do like the fact that there's an onboard fresh water tank mounted in the middle of the van under the floor. This bathroom feels like it's come straight out of a boutique hotel bedroom. It's just fantastic. We've got a corner shower unit with a moulded liner, a loo here with an integrated cistern, so no big ugly plastic cistern hanging around, a huge wardrobe here with a shelving unit alongside, and of course behind me a proper vanity unit with a large stainless steel sink and an extremely attractive slate effect splashback. Now there's no window in here, but there is a roof light overhead, and actually the lighting in here is just fantastic. At the beginning I suggested that the Nova GL 470 might be a cheaper and lighter route into Hymer ownership. Well, the numbers don't quite bear that out. This 470 weighs in at 1700 kilos when laden, and there's the option to upgrade that to 1800 kilos should you want more payload. As for the price, well, landed on the UK shores, this costs in excess of £27,000, and spec to the level of this show van, it's over 30 grand. But to be honest, to the typical Hymer buyer, those figures are largely irrelevant. They're single-minded in their pursuit of German engineering, and they simply accept that they're going to have to pay for it.